discuss with these elites on matters of national importance, and I hope we reflect this morning to be one that is reflective to the realities of what we're going to discuss. I have heard Roger Sear say that at last we have a candidate. One, the National Unity Platform is also cognizant of the type of by-elections that are being organized now. You know what happened in Kayunga. In Kayunga, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni told us that even when the people decide, he decides last, or the NRA decides last. What happened in that election, for all those who have morals and decorum in their mind, they know what happened in Kayunga. So as a party, we took a position to critically look at what we are handling, because we were just coming from an election, a general election, which was characterized, it is the worst organized military operation in Uganda. It had 54 people murdered by the state. It had others murdered extrajudicially. And I want to give you names if you want some. Zebra was murdered because of electioneering. Zebra is a former boxer. And General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni broadly came out and accepted that extrajudicial killing without putting those to justice. When you steal an election, you steal the soul of a country, because democracy is deepened by accountability of service to the people, and they can only check you through processes of elections. That is why elections, cardinal and principally, are supposed to yield the highest pedigree of fairness, because they determine the livelihood of people. Now, when we looked at that, we had to do an assessment. There are places where by-elections have been. NUP is magnanimous, it is a mass party, yes, but we are not bullies. That is one thing that we are. We are not bullies. We are cognizant of whatever is on the political terrain. In Serere, you could not doubt Alice Alaso, her capacity in leadership and others. In certain places, we have agreed to move with the opposition candidates. I was personally in Soroti, and you know what happened in Soroti? It is mind-boggling when a spokesperson of a party is here, even just thumping the win of Bweyogedde, which is in question today by their own political leader, by their own general, because this time round he wants to unmask. He thinks that unmasking one of his will leave him the terrain of being with sanctity. And yet he has opened also what we have been talking about. He himself, in Kayunga, he made those statements. He has made them on different platforms. Now, in Oyam, we have a very interesting candidate. He's called Daniel Okello. Daniel Okello is a councillor of LC5. Now, he's a sitting councillor on the National Unity Platform ticket. Now, this is also one that our colleagues this time will run away from. They have told the world that NUP is about Buganda, that the leaders of NUP are in Buganda. He is a councillor, a sitting, serving councillor. Yeah. Therefore, some of course, when they eat their words, when they chew and eat their words, they forget as they're going to vomit whatever they want to say, because they have been selling a story that we are not anywhere. Now, I'm glad that with the National Resistance Army person here, he has ably told you that at least this time he is seeing a capable and deserving person in Daniel Okello to be member of parliament. Of course,
that's interesting.
I don't think those were my words.
I am speaking, and you will be given opportunity to speak.
Okay, very quickly. Yeah.
So,
in a minute.
Yes, please.
What is on the ground right now, as far as NUP is concerned? Voting, it's now 7. It's just 5 minutes to 8 o'clock. Voting is presumably underway in Oyam. Have you...
as of last night, the state machinery, just like it has been in other elections, by-elections, has done the same. The state is in charge of the affairs. They are being assisted by the chief thief, that is the chairperson of the Electoral Commission.
To check your language.
It is English language.
But that's Snoop, anyway.
No, it is English language. He's a teacher.
I need to check the tone and the choice of words.
We have read a letter from General Museveni discussing stealing of elections. Elections, by the Constitution of Uganda, are an architect of the Electoral Commission. And so, and the words we speak, we have liability to them. I do not have a disclaimer that the chief of stealing elections is Injustice Byabakama, because he has done so on public record, including the presidential election. You know very well that he announced results on camera without even knowing where they were coming from, and to his own dissatisfaction, he led it to us. So if you want to give names, probably my English is still, I have very limited English.
No,
and those
it is not. It is not a debate. It is not a debate on
so
the
for me, we call him
of language.
Chief. Yeah,
yeah. It's not a debate on the breadth of language, but for basic decorum in debate. That is exactly where
a thief is a thief, and that's where our country has found
a problem. I'd like to come to Rogers Mulindwa. You are itching to respect
our dear responsibility to take charge, and we really want to liberate that place. I'm happy that Rogers here has enumerated the capabilities of the young man Daniel Okello. So we believe that his maestro of politics in that region will give us a new face of how we can handle the politics in particularly that region. In that region, we have not been allowed free space to participate in sinking our structures and our politics of the party. As you realize, we are bogged down by the state machinery on our free movement and free speech around the country to do the strategic mobilizing and others. But also we participate in this election, first of all, to refuse the thinking that elections are for NRA. Elections are for Uganda. They are for our country. It is something that we have invested in as a nation. They are not for any individual. So nobody should sit and chest thump that they are going to chase us out of processes as they do it. Because the mudslinging, the blackmail, the torture, the murder, the arrests all speak to tiring the oppressed from participating in the liberation processes that are constitutional. And that is very, very, very sad. Because as a result of this, if you read the letter of General Museveni, first of all, I wanted to tell Rogers that these are not small allegations. Nobody should participate in an election where a human being has been dehumanized, like how that gentleman was dehumanized. I give no damn whether he's NRM leaning or NRA leaning. He may not be intelligent enough to realize, but whether he is there or not, it is not supposed to be at any sphere of politics that a human being is handled the way that gentleman. I want to go to Bweyogedde as a yardstick for all these elections.
Very quickly.
Our strategic progress. Let me tell you, in Bweyogedde, there is a lady who was called Jessica Apio. And about 3 other candidates who are going to stand for the woman MP. That was one that saw us having Anita Among, the now mafia speaker, come to helm. I want to tell you, you listen to the story. What she did, she first of all bought off the other people. She told one of the ladies that they would have a settlement of 25 million. She had never touched 25 million. They gave her a bunch of 1,000 million shillings in 5 million. She discovered later that there was nothing. Anita Among. Jessica Apio, first of all, was nominated by the Electoral Commission. Anita Among connived with the Injustice Byabakama. They came to the Electoral Commission. They sat a board of the Electoral Commission. They called the proposer and seconder of Jessica Apio. They convinced them, they bribed them, and then they changed their word against Jessica Apio, a candidate who had already been nominated. They denominated Jessica Apio. They denominated Jessica Apio. After denominating Jessica Appeal, she went to High Court.
Until we getting too much.
No.
Just a moment.
These are elections. General Museveni has written a letter.
Waiswa Mufumbiro,
I am
just a
on
minute.
TV.
Just a minute.
Yes,
you are
please.
on national TV.
And I'm on national TV.
Yes, and I am the moderator.
Please.
Allow me say this, that the allegations as NTV and as Chris Higenyi cannot independently verify, and you do not provide any credible evidence. I'm not going to tell you to provide evidence on table because the issue at hand is not those allegations.
It is your duty.
The debate, the debate right now is, Oyam, we are looking at how do we move forward. And I've asked you the fundamental question to lay out the national unity platform's way forward.
Thank you very much.
How do you intend to capitalize on this?
No,
you have diverted
excuse me.
an issue that perhaps hasn't been addressed well enough according to you. And I'm not going
Can I reply?
Use 60 broadcasting seconds.
That's a minute. Let me tell you something. How I answer the question is all up to me.
Your
60 seconds.
Okay.
So the decorum you're talking about refuses you from investigating a story that has been given to you, which is factual. Since you are a journalist, and I am speaking because you invited me to speak
on
I'm supposed on by-elections.
That is right.
Okay, so you cannot impede me. And if you look at your flyer, it spoke about Bweyogedde and the letter.
That is
so
right.
I am expanding the debate not to be pedestral to something small, help the country.
But
they understand.
All right.
Alex, you are interrupting.
No. Waiswa Mufumbiro, I have the right to interrupt and interject. I also have the right to say off the show. Rogers Mulindwa, I have that right.
You invited me, so you can do it if you feel so.
Rogers Mulindwa, the aspect of continuity of the national resistance movement in OYAM is something that you have spoken about. Listening to the sentiment of the likes of National Unity Platform, it seems it's continuity. Do you fragmentation in terms of everyone wanting to go at it alone instead of seeking a collective assault? Tell us about how 2026 looks like. Is the possibility of the opposition coming together one that is, well, about to be achieved, or we are looking at NUP driving NUP agenda and nothing but NUP?
What is the NUP agenda? The NUP agenda is the bad schools. The NUP agenda is the bad hospitals. The NUP agenda is the corruption. The NUP agenda is the bad, is the appalling health state we are in as a nation. That is our agenda. Our agenda is the oppressed Ugandans. And therefore, we have on all occasions said, in your own submissions, you noted that in certain areas we have left our colleagues to take the day. Because it is not about us, it is about the things that make our country a country of decorum to humanity, which is not there. The emotions many of you speak about them because probably you are from the battered side of seeing things. I am on the front line. On that front line, I do have colleagues who have been murdered by the NRA. I have friends who have been court-martialed. This is not politics. No. A civilian is not supposed to be in the court-martial. I have civilians, not one, not two, in hundreds, who are before the court-martial on reasons of supporting His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Ngobi. It is in public eye. So, if... Yeah, that is a name that was given to him in Busoga.
Okay.
And it is...
Yeah, very quickly, I have to go for a break.
When we are discussing whatever we are discussing, we should discuss it on the cornerstone of being reality.
That is right.
Lives are being lost. Government is spending lots of taxpayers' money in these shambolic militaristic operations. And I can tell you, akaliba akendo, okalabira kuchi, kumukonda, that's the Baganda saying. These people and whatever happens in the by-election is a continuity actually of the general election. The only difference is that at the general election, the state machinery is looking at working for General Yoweri Museveni. So after stealing for General Yoweri Museveni, you saw ballot papers. Our candidate
Alex Waiswa
did
Mufumbiro
elections in a bulletproof vest.
I'm going to have to go for a break.
Please.
The rules say that, but the reality maybe different. One thing we will not do is to allow many times all the sentiments of any one politician or entity to be addressed.
They don't have clean water, they don't have electricity, they are hugely impoverished, as you have seen the pictures. They still have that archaic homestead living. They have told you that they have a population of about 180,000 persons. They have no hospital, okay? And you know they have been represented with the highest echelon of NRA. If you talk about the Ngola family in Lango, it is one of the greatest. And it is NRA all through. But the people of Oyam have not benefited from having strong men of NRA being their representative. And that is why, if their voice is respected, because as you have just noted yourself, probably now that you have facts to even say it, that what is there is the arbitrary arrests. Where that is happening means that that election has already been stolen. Who is in charge of arbitrary arrests? It is the NRA. It is the NRA police. They are the state machinery of the police that is deployed to stop. Let me tell you a story about Kayunga.
Very quickly.
In Kayunga, a police officer was arrested from a polling station for ballot stuffing. He had disguised himself as a polling agent. Police. Now, if already they are stealing the election, for us, we have scored because the country knows our magnanimity. Secondly, we will continue to participate in the processes that highlight the corruption, the blackmail, the thuggery of the NRA, especially during elections. We don't mind the cost because it includes even people dying. I told you that this is a continuity of what has been an overflow of whatever they have been doing since 1986. That is why we put it, and as a chess, we put the chessboard round and know where is the pawn, where is the king, because at the end of the day, if it was a free and fair process in Oyam, you would not have an NRA candidate coming back. For the first time, they're even telling you how stiff the competition is. But because they're already rigging, the election will not have competition.
For
us as National Unity Platform,
that allegation,
you will verify it. The beauty about journalism is that it has that opportunity to investigate. And I know I am not one of those madmen who will speak things that will go to the contrary. You will find whatever I speak on your station actually factual, because we are anchored on reality as National Unity Platform.
Thank you very much.
Our mobilization in the north, our structuring in the north, especially Lango sub-region, has taken quite some good momentum. We have taken this opportunity, all of us as party officials, to have interactions and inroads to where we have been stopped by the state. When we went there for consultations in Lira, we were beaten, including the president, we were arrested, our vehicles were impounded, but at least we find ways in these processes to find breathers of how to maneuver and help liberate the oppressed people. You see, wherever there are oppressed people, it is a struggle.
It's a struggle.
And that is why that message, you will always find them wherever they are.
Rogers Mulindo, allow me now place the card of fairness on you.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you were still in control. Because,
allow me place it on you.
Assuming your powers.
No.
The only disclaimer he said as he comes.
Excuse me.
A disclaimer to him.
No.
About our party, he said on cards.
Of defiance is higher this side.
To the people of Oyam, this is your Liberation Day. We know that already the state machinery of the NRA is at its best, but you do your best also to keep the hope alive. And I can only tell the country that at a certain point, we as a country will maneuver and win all these semantics of the National Resistance Army, God being our helper. The name Tibuharwa was brought as a result of an election, and it is important people to know. But lastly, NUP tickets were never for sale. In fact, those who won did not have, some of them, capacity to even buy a ticket. Our card is at 1,000 shillings. So do not lie when you are here.